When you're still, when you're stretching, when you're breathing, we go from sensory overload to a sense of slowing down, and a quality of ease begins to run throughout the body. Hey there, and welcome to this Wednesday Word of Wisdom. I'm really glad you're joining me today. So, like always, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. I will also note that you can get this as a podcast so you can listen on the go, or you can also read it on my blog if you would rather read through the content rather than sit and watch a video or listen. Also, in the description here, right here, is a link to my sign-up form if you would like to be added to my weekly newsletter, where you can get all the updates, new information, anything that might help you with your growth, with your mental health, to make sure that you stay on the right track and healthy, successful, motivated, and moving. All right. So I spent a lot of time talking about self-care. Now, I want to clear something up right off the hop. Self-care is not the same thing as being self-indulgent. It's not the same thing as being selfish. Self-care really means taking care of yourself so that you can be healthy, so that you can be well, so that you can take care of others, so you can do your job, so that all the things that you have to do in your life, or all the things that you want to accomplish in your day, you are capable of doing. So we have to sort of revolutionize the idea that society has put on self-care and start to look at things like our personal health and happiness, and start to understand why self-care isn't selfish. Everybody has to develop their own relationship with self-care and what that's going to look like for you. Now, today I want to just focus on one tiny little aspect of our self-care. You know, things like yoga and stretching. They are amazing ways that we can start incorporating some self-care into our everyday routine without it feeling like this big, overwhelming addition to our world. Now, I also talk a lot about our routines, our morning routines, our evening routines, because they are so important to how we function in our day. Our mind, our brain thrives with routines. And adding some stretching into our morning routine, into our evening routine, is really quite a simple tool. In fact, having some movement, including stretching or yoga, in our morning routine really helps us start our day off well. And if we have something like that in our evening routine, it allows us to have some of that downtime that removes some of the extra stressors in our world and allows us to sleep more effectively. You know, yoga practice, it's about healing ourselves through self-discovery, through self-acceptance. It also restores trust in our experience of being alive. It helps us move through fear. It helps to ground us and center us. And whatever time that you have available, it doesn't have to be a big, long practice. You know, it doesn't have to take hours to do it. The benefits of even a quick, simple practice of stretching or yoga are huge. Our bodies are made up of all sorts of muscles and ligaments that move us, carry us, hold us every day, but that also can cause us to be more stiff and to have more pain, less flexibility, bad posture, things like that. And so when I'm talking about incorporating stretching into your daily routine, there are some real benefits to why we need to do that for ourselves. The first one is stress relief. See, when we're stressed, not only do a lot of physiological things happen, like an increase in heart rate, shallow breathing, but we also tend to tense up all of our muscles. So So when we stretch, we start to relieve that tension. So it helps us to relax those tight muscles. It allows us to take some time and to actually focus on our body, to slow ourselves down. When we start a stretching practice, we also take time to breathe, because as we stretch, we slow down. And so we breathe more deeply, we breathe more slowly, which actually also helps us to slow our heart rate. And our body speaks to our mind, and our mind speaks to our body. There's this interactive relationship that takes place. And so when we're stressed and when our heart rate increases and our breathing shallows and things like that happen, it tells our mind that there is something to be concerned about. And so then our mind starts to look for more stressors, and we create increased levels of anxiety in our mind because our body is speaking to our mind and our mind is speaking to our body. When we slow down, we also slow all of that down, and we let our mind know that we're okay. Now, when we incorporate some stretching into our world, it also helps us to shift some things in our posture and shift any pain that we might have in our body. I talk a lot about hygiene in terms of self-care. And in that category, I also include how we carry ourselves. Because when it's that same whole mind-body connection. When we are more slouched, when we're hunched, that's one of our body's reactions to low self-esteem, to low mood, to increased anxiety. We want to almost hide away from the world. And so we carry ourselves more inward and lower. When our posture is poor, that mind-body connection kicks in and our mood dips. I mean, try it out for yourself. Like, just sit for a minute, hang your head, roll your shoulders in, and just sort of like explore how you feel. And then pull your head up, sit up straight, and just sit there for a minute and explore the difference in how you might feel. It might not be huge, but there is a difference. And when we incorporate stretching into our daily routine, we start to help ourselves create a better posture. And that is going to impact that mind-body connection. The other thing too is when we have poor posture, we create back pain. And when we have chronic pain, I don't know if you've ever had something that's just been throbbing, a headache, hurt yourself in some way. And when that pain is constant, it's awful. And it really does shift our mindset and our mood. So when we can start to work on alleviating some of those chronic pains through improving our posture, through stretching, we start to improve our mood. Now, stretching also helps us to get a better sleep. And we know that sleep is really important for well-being, for our physical well-being, for our mental well-being. The more we sleep, we get more energized and it changes how we feel. If you're tired, you're grumpy, right? Those are a mind and a mood piece. But for some of us, we find it hard to even drift off to sleep. And so stretching, yoga can improve the quality of our sleep by reducing the mental stimulation that we have before we crawl into bed. When you're still, when you're stretching, when you're breathing, we go from sensory overload to a sense of slowing down, and a quality of ease begins to run throughout the body. Stretching can also give us a sense of mental clarity. Sometimes we just need a way to sort of mentally digest the day and calm our bodies and our mind down. Research has shown that static stretching activities activate our parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of our body that is responsible for rest, for digestion. It helps create feelings of calm, of relaxation. And it kind of goes without saying, stretching and yoga are a great way to increase our flexibility and our strength. And just about anybody can do it. And there's always modifications and easy ways for us to start to incorporate yoga and stretching into our daily routines. And like I said, that movement and that slow, relaxed movement, it creates energy. It helps us start our day off well. It helps us end our day well. It kind of involves us paying better attention to our breath, which helps us to relax. And sometimes it even calls for really specific breathing techniques. By incorporating stretching into our daily routine, we're going to feel less stressed. We're going to experience a greater sense of relaxation. It even is a form of downtime, meditation, mindfulness that helps to calm our mind. And all of these things make for an incredible form of self-care. And even better, it doesn't take too long to incorporate it into our day. We can squeeze it in whenever we have time for it. You can be sitting at your desk and you can incorporate some stretching. You can wake up in the morning, you can incorporate some stretching. You can go to bed at night, incorporate some stretching. You can be sitting at the dinner table, in your car. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're feeling an increased sense of stress, you can incorporate some stretching into your daily practice and routine, and it is going to help you move through some of that stress more effectively. I hope this has added some value to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye for now.
Get your daily dose of motivation on the Motivational Moments with Michelle podcast. In Motivation with Michelle podcast, you'll get encouraging, uplifting, and life-changing wisdom that will transform your world at your fingertips, 24 hours a day. Get a fuller, deeper revelation of the tools you can implement to see incredible transformation in your life from Michelle Newstetter's powerful teachings. Tune in whenever you need to be edified, uplifted, or a dose of motivation, no matter where you are. Subscribe to Motivational Moments with Michelle podcast with Michelle Newstetter today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud.